You know, you were right. He just needs to be a boy. The future will take care of itself.
The future will take care of itself, you say? Well, folks, always remember this. That's right. In Disney Star Wars, all roads lead to Jake Skywalker. Woohoo! We did it! We made it to the end of Obi-Wan. Welcome, everybody. I am Adam, the Renaissance Nerd, and this is my review of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Episode 6, The Glorious Disaster, the poster child of shiny keys to make stands cream their pants. Because that's what this episode is in most ways. It is simply one giant, jangly, shiny to make a stand feel like they just watched something and to give them something to go, look, it was awesome. And I'm sorry, I'm going to ruin your day, stands. I'm going to ruin your day and break down why this episode is a glorious disaster. It is an insult to real Star Wars fans. It is an insult to George Lucas and his vision of a galaxy far, far away. They hate us. And oh, they hate Luke Skywalker. Remember, they hate Luke Skywalker at Disney Lucasfilm. And it is so apparent by the end of the episode in just a couple, one or two very slight moments. And if you're not paying attention, you're not going to get them. But I'm here to point them out to you, so don't worry. As usual, we are going to go through the episode proper. And as lately, I'm going to stop and we're going to zero down on the bad stuff as we are there because I will be unable to not do it. I have to stop and go over it. Can't just go back. And it's bad. It is bad. Don't let the stands fool you. Don't let the stands scream in your face and say it was awesome. You're just a toxic fan. Look them right in the eye, or in this case, the screen, because they're all cowards behind keyboards. It would never look a real person in the face. Look them in the screen, in the camera, and just say, here's both barrels. I know you are a fake fan. This was garbage and dog shit, and I love real Star Wars. This is not real Star Wars.
I'm looking for a farmer named Owen.
He's looking for a farmer named Owen. That's right, guys. We have just left Planet of Unknown Origins, and I don't give two silly shits about, where she was just stabbed with no knowable way to leave. Remember, everybody else left. Both pathway ships are destroyed. You're going to assume the Imperials didn't leave any ships behind because that would be stupid. Oh, wait, we're in Disney Star Wars. Everything is stupid. Remember, the Star Destroyer is chasing the pathway ship. We're just moments after that. And Reva has magically teleported to Tatooine. And the fact that she's alive, we've already been over that. Can't take it. I'm losing it already. This is so stupid. She magically suddenly appears on Tatooine while the chase from the other planet is still going on. And where's Owen? I'm looking for Owen. Oh my goodness. These people, Joby Harold and his class of Mongoloids, they're dumb. They're so dumb. Oh my God. How did she get there? How did Reva get to Tatooine? There couldn't have been any ships left. And how did she get there in literally a minute? It's only been at best 20 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. How did she get there? You can't answer that, can you? Oh, there had to be a ship. Show us the ship. show us her getting on a ship, going into hyperspace. You can't. You can't show us that because the writers are just going to rely on the stands, on the consumers to fill in their glaring plot holes. How did Reva get there? And how did she just suddenly get there? Because as I just said, boom, there's the Star Destroyer. And I'm going to say that's a Victory class Star Destroyer, maybe a Victory 2, because it doesn't look as big as an Imperial by comparison of that one ship there. There's a Victory class Star Destroyer chasing down our pathway ship with Obi-Wan and all the other morons on board and little girl Leia to boot. We're on there, and Obi-Wan learns that the hyperdrive is going to take time to fix, time they don't have, so he's going to leave. Apparently, there's a second shuttle on the ship. Again, news to us. I guess there is. Plot needs there to be, because Obi-Wan is going to leave the ship so that he can just pull Vader away from them. Now, I'm going to, again, rain on the stands parade as we go forward here. First, though, let's just comment on the fact that little girl Leia has a hissy fit that, no, you can't leave. You said we'd all escape together. And then, fake Jedi scoundrel dumbass, like, I'll talk the word. What are you still doing here? You are a pointless character. What are you still doing here? He smooths things over for her to talk to Obi-Wan. Meanwhile, a quick cut back to Tatooine. Because remember, Deborah Chow is a genius director. She knows exactly when to break tension with a cut. We have Owen and Beru are now in a panic because they know Reva is coming. They've been told Reva is coming, and now it's time to hide Luke. And Owen wants to kind of do the smart thing and hightail it away from the Lars homestead. The man wants to do the intelligent thing and not create a conflict where the boy might get hurt. But oh no, Whammon Beru says, no, we have to stand and fight. You're going up against a dark Jedi. Owen knows it's a dark Jedi. He has seen her cut the hand off a person way back in episode 1. He knows that Reva is a ruthless, dumb bitch. But no, Whammon Beru says we're going to stand and fight. We're the only ones who can protect it, because where are we going to go? Into the desert? I don't know. Maybe get on the speeder that we know you own and take a vacay to Mos Eisley. Take a vacay to Mos Eisley. Just get in and go. Don't worry about it. Because, of course, this wouldn't all be a problem if Obi-Wan was doing his goddamn job and being on Tatooine in the first place. But no, then we wouldn't have this silly, stupid series. Back on the pathway ship with the Star Destroyer closing in, Obi-Wan has to take a moment to assure little girl Leia that everything's going to be fine, that he has to do this, and everything's going to be all right. And it's just so stupid. It's just so stupid. Because then we get this. You get this beautiful little moment right here.
I have something for you. Roken found it before we got out. She would have wanted you to have it.
Retconned useless items. That's a hallmark of Disney Star Wars, where they want to create these stories surrounding items that are important to original trilogy characters. Remember the golden dice from Solo? Oh, they're nowhere to be seen in the actual original trilogy because the golden dice never existed. Disney fan fiction. Now, Leia's been given a gift. Tala's holster. Tala, who within a month or so will be memory hold of the rest of this show. Only the stands will remember her name. Actual Star Wars fans don't know who she is, will never remember who she is, because she was designed to be killed off. Because we're in a show where plot armor surrounds everybody important. She was there to be killed off and do something heroic, because Obi-Wan can't do anything heroic, and he doesn't, really. It's all meaningless in this show. And there are moments that it's glaringly obvious how pointless everything has been, all to direct us towards the agenda and the new Disney characters. Remember, guys, they hate George Lucas's characters. So Leia gets this holster that's going to mean so much to her and of course, it fits her tiny little girl waist. I guess because it was around a leg, but still, doesn't matter. It's so important to her that we're never going to see it again in the original trilogy. It doesn't exist in the original trilogy. Nobody knows about this. No one's going to know about this. Disney Star Wars. Dumb, bad storytelling. Anyway, after a schmaltzy exchange of don't worry, I'll be okay, you'll get home to your parents, blah, 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 blah. Obi-Wan confronts Crushed Ice, we're calling him, because that's what I've heard he's called, because he's Ice Cube's kid, and he looks like him. Crushed Ice comes to him, says, the ship's ready. You sure you want to do this? We can fix the hyperdrive, even though we said it will take longer. A couple moments ago, you said it would take longer than they have to fix the hyperdrive. Then how can you say right now we can still fix the hyperdrive? You already said it can't be fixed in time to save you from the Star Destroyer bearing down on the ship. Do they even read the couple of pages that they wrote prior to that scene? These mongoloid writers. They don't, because they're stupid. Joby Harold is a moron. Tallest kid, smartest kid on the short bus. Obi-Wan goes, oh, I have to do this, don't worry. And Broken.
There are not many leaders left. People follow you. Don't stop.
Just getting started.
Just getting started? Seriously, who are you? In the annals of Star Wars history, who are you? This is not the Rebel Alliance. Some people like to mockingly call these people the rebels. This isn't even the Rebel Alliance yet. The Rebel Alliance hasn't even been formed. These are people doing a Jedi Underground Railroad. You're a leader. But people will follow you. Who are you? We don't know who you are. We're never going to know who you are because you're a fanfic character. Nobody cares about you. Stans, I'm sorry, you don't count because you're programmed to like this. You're programmed to consume. I guarantee in a month, like I said, when you're jizzing your pants over Andor, you're going to forget all about this moron and you're going to be ready for Juan Solo. This is ridiculous and stupid. Groken, whatever the hell his name is, Crushed Ice, he's nobody. There is nobody like him in Star Wars history. He doesn't exist. He is not a hero. Oh, but I guarantee there'll be a comic or a book coming your way soon. Just you wait. They'll retcon and shoehorn him in real fast to show you he was integral to making sure the Rebel Alliance was formed. Just you wait. We're not done with the stupid, though. Obi-Wan, or Nobi-Wan, I get confused. Visually, you can get confused sometimes. Obi-Wan departs on the shuttle, and from the bridge of the Star Destroyer, Vader and the Grand Inquisitor are watching. And Vader says, we're going to go after that. And the Grand Inquisitor actually says something smart and says, my lord, we can stop this pathway now. We can stop them. We have them right there. But no, Vader only cares about Obi-Wan. All right, we'll put the brakes on this for a second here, and let's think logically for a moment. That's a Victory-class Star Destroyer, at least. Or a Victory 2, as I said before. There is very likely an entire squadron of TIE fighters on board. You've still got the transport ships that you have the stormtroopers. You could do two things at once. You could send the TIE fighters out to harass and keep the other ship from getting away. And you could go after Obi-Wan. You could have them both. You're the Empire. You have the resources. We haven't seen a single TIE fighter from this Star Destroyer used, which means the squadrons are all still on there and intact. There's at least minimum one, probably two. I don't know the specs on a Victory-class Star Destroyer. I know, I lose nerd points. Go F yourself. There's at least one squadron of TIE fighters on there that can be used to stay with the escaping ship. It makes no sense. You can do both. You can do both, because then Vader leaves the Star Destroyer on a Lambda-class shuttle. He leaves on his own shuttle, which means the Star Destroyer could still go after the ship. There's a second reason, because Lambda-class shuttles have hyperdrives, which was revealed to us in Return of the Jedi. Has a hyperdrive. Vader can go to the planet, take care of Obi-Wan, and then zip on back to Mustafar or Coruscant, wherever he feels like going after the rematch. The Star Destroyer could have stayed on the other ship. I've given you two options how it could have worked. But no. Logic is abandoned by Joby Harold and his brilliant think tank of writers. We've come to it. We have come to it. The rematch. We're going to spend a while on this because it's an atrocity. As I said before, this is going to be pure stangasm. This is a stangasm. They are going to cream their pants. They're going to have to get buckets to mop up the floor when we're done with this, because it's brilliant and shiny in all the wrong ways. I'm just going to say right now, the choreography is still shit. There's a lot of jump cuts. A lot of brilliant Deborah Chow jump cuts. A lot of far away so you can just see the lightsaber stick swinging around and making contact. Let us begin the rematch of the century.
Have you come to destroy me, Obi-Wan?
I will do what I must.
Then you will die.
Before we get started going over the rematch, I must reveal to those of you who have not watched it, because, I'm watching this in your place, the whole rematch was interspliced with Reva's assault on the Lars homestead. Yeah. Nice work, Deborah Chow, you moron. We're going to cover the rematch entirely before we talk about what happens on Tatooine, because that's the way it should have been done the whole time. Again, Deborah Chow, you're a genius director. I can't wait to see what you do in the future. The rematch. Before the rematch even starts, Obi-Wan lands his shuttle and discovers that Leia slipped Lola into his pocket. Oh, how sweet. And this is just an excuse for something later in the episode. Obi-Wan disembarks, Vader soon follows, and we get the clip I just showed you. And wow, let the member berries fly. Obi-Wan does his two-fingered stance. There he goes. He's Obi-Wan. He's General Kenobi again. Let's just remember, a few short hours ago, he could barely move a piece of metal across a tabletop. But a few powerful words from Tala, some comfort from little girl Leia, and some encouragement from Crushed Ice and other nameless, useless fanfic characters, and suddenly he's General Kenobi again. He's at full strength. I guess the cooldown limiters have been removed and all his powers are on his hotbar, ready to be activated. Because we're going to see all his powers in display here. Even some I wasn't even aware Obi-Wan could do. The fight begins in all its poorly choreographed glory. Excuse me. And they fight. They swing their light sticks. There's a lot of jump cuts, as I said before. A lot of zoom outs, zoom ins, so you can't really see what happens. And there's a part one and a part two to the fight. The part one has Vader clearly with the advantage. Obi-Wan loses his ground enough at a point where Vader, he's trash talking in very awkward one-liners, not consecutive lines, this and that. And he sends Obi-Wan into a ditch and throws a bunch of rocks on him and thinks that's it, he's done. Let's comment on that for a second. After everything that the stands want to pretend he went through to torture Obi-Wan, the headcanon, the copium they have to take to convince themselves of everything that happened already in this series in previous encounters. That's it? If that's Vader's victory, that's it? You're not going to go down and check? You're just going to assume he's crushed by all the rocks? Because let's remember, you could force lift the rocks off and make sure he's dead. Nope, sorry, not going to happen. Guess getting force lift on cooldown. Going to just mosey away, think he's won. Which leaves Obi-Wan to have a moment of recap. It's a bunch of quotes from the prequels and this horrific show repeat in his mind and give him strength to force wave everything off of him. He force waves it all off, scrambles out, catches up to Vader, and the fight resumes in earnest. And now Obi-Wan has the advantage because his confidence is just completely there now. He's going to do what he has to do. Ooh, look at that Stangasm happen. You can feel it. You can feel that tremor in the Force as every single Stan had their hands on their junk going, oh, look at him use the rocks. Oh, it's so cool. Oh, and yeah, great. It's a nice visual. But that's not exactly a Force ability Obi-Wan has ever exhibited. Obi-Wan's never exhibited a lot of mass telekinetic ability. That's not really a thing. Well, it's all done as a setup, though, to show that he is a Jedi Master again. He's in control. Vader is still the apprentice. He's still the learner. It's all show. It's all fluff. And it's all getting us to the moments now. These couple of moments. It's all to get to this dialogue. This entire rematch has been done to get to this dialogue to justify the rematch. To justify inserting it into the original trilogy lore. When I say insert, I mean taking two giant crowbars and forcing an opening and then jamming it in there, even though it doesn't fit quite right. The twisting of lines, the twisting of lore, the altering of the meaning of dialogue to fit this rubbish. Because it's rubbish. And and the way they do it, it's not even original. These people aren't original. They're copying their own Disney Star Wars trash. Because you remember this from Filoni's Rebels.
Anakin.
That is Disney Star Wars. Complete and total Disney Star Wars. And they're ripping off their own thing. That's not even the EU. Dave Filoni's Rebels is all Disney Star Wars. These people are not original because here is what happens in this show.
Anakin.
Now they're cannibalizing their own pathetic lore. Really? They copied that scene from Rebels. Unbelievable. Now, I didn't call that. Other people called that it was going to happen. And when I heard it, I said, yeah, it's probably going to happen. So I wasn't the first to say that this was the way it was going to break down. But they did it. They did it. They copied that moment from Rebels, which is really a low bar. It's like one retard cheating off another retard's test answers. And it's sad. It's sad because that's the big Hayden Christensen moment. Aside from the flashback last week, there's your big Hayden Christensen moment. So you can get him half speaking as Anakin, half speaking as Vader through the voice modulation. And it only gets worse because then this right here, this is the whole breakdown, the whole destruction of the lore. Because here's the original emphasis on the relationship between Darth Vader, Obi-Wan, and Anakin, as done in A New Hope.
He betrayed and murdered your father.
He betrayed and murdered your father. Most classic lines in Star Wars history. You have to remember, at the time of A New Hope, George Lucas had not decided to make Vader Anakin Skywalker. That was a change made between A New Hope and Empire. Therefore, that then leads to the whole a certain point of view line and aspect. Either way, though, canonically, that's the line. That is the line that George used to set up the relationship of Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. And that's one of the lines now that they are about to twist and mangle in order to fit this into the whole, the last time we met, I was the learner, now I am the master. I was but the learner, now I am the master. Only a master of evil, Darth. Watch as they twist this now. Here's the twist to ruin it. Ugh, so pathetic.
You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. I did.
Then my friend is truly dead. Goodbye, Darth.
Mangled. Disfigured, much like Anakin is disfigured as Vader, both physically and spiritually. Goodbye, Darth. You didn't kill Anakin. I did. This is what bad storytellers do when they're writing their fan fiction. They take actual moments of lore and try to twist it to fit their narrative, to make their fan fiction legitimate. This is fan fiction. Again, remember, when George did A New Hope, he didn't have a lot of stuff completely worked out. He always had the fight on Mustafar worked out, but as we said, originally it wasn't Anakin. It was just Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi. So when he had Alec Guinness as Obi-Wan say that line, Vader betrayed and murdered your father, it was not intended to be this. They are doing this to try and justify their own existence. They are altering that line to justify the existence of this fight, the existence of this show. It is sad and pathetic. So to have Anakin say, you didn't kill Anakin, or Vader say, you didn't kill Anakin, I did, and then have Obi-Wan call him Darth, because again, Lucas hadn't figured out Sith lore and all that kind of stuff yet, that the Darth is a moniker. It's not a first name. It's a title. A Darth is a title. That Obi-Wan would know. And to have him say it like that, it sounds like he's calling him Darth, like his first name, like Alec Guinness did in the first movie. As opposed to saying, you're a Darth, which is what he would be. They don't know what they're doing. They are mangling this stuff to get any sort of traction, to legitimize themselves. Because remember, the shills will rush out there and say that everything Disney has done since 2012 is the new canon, the actual canon. And everything that came before is not legitimate. And they will continue to do that if and when Disney decides to remake the original trilogy. They want to have this be the only one in existence. They want to make this canon, so they will do everything possible to legitimize it by harvesting lines from A New Hope to make it real, to make it legitimate. It is not legitimate. And then they try to play on your heartstrings, because during this whole conversation, at one point, Vader's face has the blue light in it when you think he's maybe going to talk as Anakin, but then after he says, I killed Anakin, his saber comes to play and his face shifts to red. Ooh, you're so clever, Deborah Chow. You're so clever. You're not clever. It's obvious. And then you have stupid Obi-Wan. Stupid Obi-Wan decides to just leave Vader there because he has to. If this was a real fight, if they weren't trying to just shove it in a square peg into a round hole, a real warrior would have finished Vader off. Obi-Wan, if this was a legitimate fight, would have finished him off. He would not have left him there. But this is fan fiction that has to work with plot armor. These characters have plot armor. Vader can get beat up all he wants, but he's going to survive. Obi-Wan has to leave him alive. Obi-Wan can walk off, can't be disfigured, can't be too banged up himself, because he has to survive for another 8 years. Or 9 years, depending on how you look at it. I always say 8 years, because Luke and Leia are 18 years old when A New Hope happens. This is sad. It's sad in the wrong way, because they try to pull on your heartstrings with the final moment of the rematch. As Obi-Wan is walking away, they try to pull on the heartstrings, and it's sad in all the wrong ways. And the sad thing is, you want to feel for this. Part of you wants to, but it's pathetic. It's pathetic because it's a deconstruction of Vader. I'm going to come back to that in a moment.
Obi-Wan!
I'm going to give them credit. Actual cleverness is used there. Pulls on the heartstring, as I said. It pulls on the heartstring. You fall for it. If you're watching this in a bit of a vacuum, you fall for it. You feel for the frustration of Vader, his loss, the conflict of Anakin and Vader is supposed to be a little bit on display here. And they're clever for trying to play on your member berries. There should be no conflict at this point, because this is Darth Vader at the height of his power. This should be Darth Vader unbeatable. Darth Vader will crush everything in his path to achieve his goals. Not carelessly crush, methodically crush. Use violence when necessary, use intimidation when necessary, and kill when necessary, but not always, because Vader's not stupid. But to do this, to have this fight happen in the way it did, in the closing moments where Obi-Wan destroys the bits of technology that make Vader's armor function and then beat him down with rocks and then slice it open, and he's beating him to leave him there in a pathetic state. It's the deconstruction of Darth Vader. If you watch this, if you are a neophyte Star Wars fan, and I pity you if you've been introduced to it in the manner in which you're going to watch it in this kind of order, and then you're going to go watch the original trilogy after watching this. How is Darth Vader powerful at all in your eyes? Where's the fear? Where's the intimidation? No. All you're going to see is this broken man in a mask. This is not a good thing. Darth Vader should be eternally menacing. The only time you will see his weakness is at the very end when Luke overcomes him. But then in that moment, that weakness returns him to Anakin Skywalker. This kind of deconstruction shows they do not understand how Darth Vader should be portrayed. We should not be seeing the conflict within him. And the shills, they're already out there saying, oh, this is laying the groundwork for Anakin's redemption. No, there should be no groundwork laid at all. This should be a ruthless, efficient Darth Vader. But we haven't seen that at all in this show. We've seen a Darth Vader who has been careless, a Darth Vader whose powers are on cooldown a lot of the time and only seem to be effective when the story needs it to be effective. This is not how you work, Darth Vader. They've already deconstructed Obi-Wan. Oh, Obi-Wan had his heroic fight here. Plot armor. None of this mattered. It's stupid. It's lame. It's pointless. What does this fight serve except to give the stands a standgasm? Watch the jangly shining key ignore the fact that we're altering original lore, original dialogue to make this show's existence even a smidgen acceptable. Because it's not. This is stupid. It is wrong. It should not be happening. And this fight was a glorified sparring match. There was no purpose. There were no lessons learned. All you do is make the characters look stupid. You make Vader look weak in the end. You make Obi-Wan look stupid for leaving him alive. Vader knows Obi-Wan is still alive. He knows he's out there somewhere. And there's an even bigger loose thread coming our way in just a moment, because we're not done yet. Because remember, as I said at the beginning of discussing the rematch, interspliced with the rematch was Reva's assault on the Lars homestead. Let's cover that real quick and take us into the end game of this glorious disaster of a show.
You really love the boy. Like he's your own.
He is my own.
Remember when I mentioned that during the rematch, we had real-time, interconnected cutscenes of Reva assaulting the Lars homestead? Remember I told you that. Remember that. Because it's all happening at the same time, guys. That's right. Remember that Deborah Chow and Joby Harold have no concept of time in physics. Everything's happening at the same time. The rematch and the assault on the Lars homestead. Now we're going to cover the assault on the Lars homestead. We're going to breeze through it because it's all stupid. Reva attacks. Beru and Owen try to fend her off. They fail. Reva makes her way all the way into the interior where Luke has been hidden away in a back room, told to run if anything bad happens. She breaks through. You saw that intense moment where Reva confronts Owen, and Moses Ingram, with all her powerful gravitas, delivers us a fantastic performance. Can you sense the sarcasm? She gets through Owen, she gets through Beru, and Luke is seen scrambling out of a hatch in the roof, and Reva gives chase. He has a really good head start, makes it into some canyons, but Reva still finds him. How? Dunno. Not shown using the Force. Just finds him. And as he's kind of skidding around on an upper level of the cliff, she uses a little Force twinge and sends him tumbling down. And in that moment, as he is tumbling down, Obi-Wan is leaving Tatooine. Unknown Rock World, which we thought was going to be Tatooine in the posters. Unknown Rock World. He feels Luke is in trouble. I know. The irony. Luke's in trouble and Obi-Wan ain't there to help him. How's that? So you see Obi-Wan send the shuttle into light speed because the shuttle apparently has a hyperdrive. Who knew? Reasons. Plot necessity. Remember, happening real time at the Lars homestead. Same time as the rematch. Reva finds Luke at the bottom where she knocked him down. And as she's stalking towards him, she's overcome with emotion as she sees images of her past. And instead of Luke, she sees herself there. I know. And as she raises her lightsaber to strike, to in her eyes, get justice for her dead family of Padawans and younglings. Justice for her is to kill another youngling. She sees the moments where Anakin stabbed her and she should have died the first time. She sees the moment of Vader stabbing her barely a couple hours ago where she should have died a second time. And suddenly, she hesitates because she can't bring her, or you don't know she hesitates. She raises to strike and it cuts away. And then Obi-Wan has arrived at the Lars homestead. Clearly, it's still nighttime. It's still the same evening. He's just there. Hyperspace is instantaneous travel in Disney Star Wars. Teleportation. Poof. Obi-Wan is there as Owen and Beru are calling out for Luke when they told him to run. So why are you just standing there, not actually looking in directions? They all agree to go look for the boy. But then here comes Reva. Reva marching out of the desert with the boy's limp form in her hands. Puts Luke down and everybody's, oh, is he dead? No, he's alive. Remember that, folks. Luke Skywalker, savior of the galaxy, destroyer of the Death Star, conqueror of Darth Vader, future Grand Master of a new Jedi Order. He's only alive because Reva let him live. Soak it in. Just for a moment. Soak that in. In Disney Star Wars, Luke Skywalker is alive because of the largesse of Reva. That's how they want it. They want you to know that Luke is only alive because of her, because she could have killed him and been done with it. But no. Suddenly, Reva had her Part 2 face turn, where she couldn't just kill another youngling. And now she's tormented. Where do I get my justice now for my dead family? Am I like Vader because I wanted to kill a youngling? Am I no good? And with one head pat and shoulder pat, Obi-Wan forgives her. Her redemption is suddenly complete. She is now on the path. She's now a Jedi again, I guess, on the path to being on the light side. Yeah. Hey, I'm all for redemption from the dark side. It's key to Anakin's plot and Vader's plot. You're reading like I am right now. Jedi Academy truly Kip Duran, he's going to have a massive fall. He's going to have to come back. Luke had just come back from his own dark side turn. But it's a process. It's a process that we were always told needed time. Shown it takes time. Nope. Reva gets to be good guy after a pat on the head and told, now you make your own destiny. Now you make your own way. And that's it. Reva gets to live. Yay. I guess her story isn't over yet. We'll come back to Reva in the postgame. And there you got it. The crisis is over. Everything's done. Oh my goodness. It's just, it hurts your brain. It really does hurt your brain. How they have just twisted and manipulated everything to tell their agenda, to fit their pathetic story into this. And I'll give Moses Ingram a little bit of credit there in her crying scene, where, again, she can barely emote. At least she can summon tears, unlike Amber Heard. All right, moving on. So the crisis is over. We cut to Mustafar. Vader's back in his palace. Why? I don't know. Why didn't you go to Coruscant? I don't know. No, we got to see Mustafar. Got to have member berries of Mustafar. And oh, look, cameo 1 of 2. Cameo 1 of 2 in this episode. Cameo 1. Oh, look, he's having a talk with good old Palps, the Emperor, asking him how he's doing. Vader's saying, oh, we're fine. We're going to keep kicking ass. Palpatine, I sense a I sense conflict within you. More twisting of the lines. Are you sure you're okay? Vader's like, I'm fine. Palpatine's like, oh, great, fine. Shut up, do your job. I'll catch you later. Peace out. And then, for the first time in 6 episodes, as Vader, we zoom out from Vader sitting on his throne. The Imperial March plays. Only took 6 episodes to finally play a track of Star Wars familiar music. Said that out of order. Familiar Star Wars music. My brain is scrambled. Give me a break. This show is hurt. It hurt. It hurt. Remember what Deborah Chow said in the beginning of all this? He's not the fully formed Darth Vader you see in A New Hope. So now he's fully formed that you finally decide to play the Imperial March, Vader's theme. F you, Deborah Chow. F you. You are a horrible director. You're a terrible showrunner. You don't have an ounce of creative being inside you. You wouldn't know good direction, good layout if it run up and smacked you in your face. Same goes for Joby Harold. So there you go. Vader's fully formed now, I guess, because we got to finally hear the music. Perfectly timed as we zoom out and he leaves the show. Never mind, you've completely deconstructed his character. You've made him seem useless, pathetic, not very smart, a monster attacker for no reason, just going to kill villagers left and right, going to do stuff, going to let a stupid little youngling pretending to be a dark Jedi just run ramshot over all your plans because you were in on it the whole time, but you used her aggression, which she constantly screwed up with, not getting the job done. Does that make any sense to you? Because it doesn't to me. All right. Moving on to Alderaan. Leia's home. She got home. Yay. And she's getting dressed on her own. She's ready to assume her duties as an Organa. And you see there, she's got the holster from Tala. Because again, useless, fake memorabilia retconned in to mean something when in fact it means nothing because it's fan fiction. In comes her mother. Oh, look at you. We're so proud you're ready to do this. Let's go meet who's coming today. Bail Organa's out there as well. Oh, we're so proud that you're acting your station now, Leia. You're not misbehaving. You're ready to be an adult at 10 years old. Oh, who are we? Who's coming to visit today? Surprise! It's Obi-Wan. Just left Tatooine again. Luke was just in a dangerous moment. Oh, I'm gonna leave Tatooine immediately just so I can return Lola to Leia, who then her holster becomes Lola's hidey hole. And so you can spend a good couple of minutes affirming Leia that she's gonna be glorious. Oh, Leia, I'm sorry I couldn't tell you more about your parents. But your mother was quick, she was witty, she was smart, she was clever. And your father, he was passionate and determined and brave, and you have all these traits in you. I know. And then looks at her other parents saying, oh, I'm an Organa, and it's good. I understand my place in everything now. Thank you, Obi-Wan. She actually calls him Obi-Wan. Meanwhile, and then saying, Obi-Wan has the nerve to say, again, the nerve to say, you're going to have to pretend we never met each other. It would be too dangerous. Oh, see, it's fixed now. When she says, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. You see, that whole point where she's informal in her plea for help in Star Wars A New Hope. Oh, it's fixed because Obi-Wan tells her you have to pretend we don't know each other. You got to pretend. Shut up. Shut up, you stupid idiots. God damn. And meanwhile, throughout this whole point, again, finally, when he says, you are Princess Leia Organa, and Leia's theme finally plays. Again, 6 episodes in, and we finally get some Star Wars music again. Oh, but then another piece plays right after that, but we're going to come back to that. Just remember, after Leia gets her theme, after she's been affirmed that she's going to do great things for the Rebel Alliance, she's going to be a great leader. Just remember, after she's been affirmed, she gets another piece of music woven around her, given to her, stolen from somebody else. Give you 2 guesses who. Because now we blip back to Tatooine. Obi-Wan, he's moving out of his cave. He's cleaned up, he's dressed nice, he's all groomed, his hair is combed, he's wearing his lightsaber loud and proud for all the world to see. He's moving on. He's ready to move on because he's found himself again. This whole movie, because this essentially was a movie. It was a movie stretched out over 6 episodes. This whole story where we watched him be pathetic for 5 episodes and then suddenly in the blink, he's Obi-Wan Kenobi again. Because we really watched him grow and overcome stuff. Hearing a few old lines from past movies and past episodes is all he needed to come to terms with his grief and his problem, and to have a conversation to know that Anakin is really dead. Only Darth Vader remains. That's all he needed. See, you needed to have that conversation to move on. No, he didn't. He should have figured all that out all on his own instead of effing off from Tatooine. But now he's all good. He's all good. He's fine. Goes to visit the Lars homestead one more time to, as I showed you in the beginning of the video, to tell Owen that it's okay for Luke to be a boy. Okay, strike 2, dump it on Luke. We've already had Luke be shown to be kind of worthless in the Reva point when he was running from Reva. Just no dialogue, no nothing. Nothing to show how brave Luke is in the face of Reva. Remember, Leia got to spend an entire episode looking into Reva's eyes and pushing back. What did I say? The moment Luke had to deal with Reva, he ran. Luke had to run, and Luke kept running. Never had a moment of conversation, never said anything, never had a moment to show that he had that Skywalker defiance in him too. Nope, only for Leia, none for Luke. And once again, right here, Luke's about to get cucked. Once again, because remember, we're in Disney Star Wars, and all roads lead to Jake Skywalker, not Luke Skywalker, Jake Skywalker. After Obi-Wan says the boy just gets to be a boy. Remember, Leia gets to be a leader, but Luke just gets to be a boy. Let him be a boy. No, Leia, you have a destiny to be a great leader. Luke, you could just be a boy. It's okay. Go F off and go play in the sand, why don't you? As Obi-Wan's getting ready to leave, Owen says, would you like to meet the boy? Oh, that's nice. Now he can actually get the toy. Remember, I said that way back in episode 1. Look, Luke's favorite model was gifted to him by Obi-Wan. Remember, look, we're tying it to the original trilogy. Aren't we clever? No, you're not clever. You're stupid. We get Obi-Wan approaching Luke, and Luke looks up. Kid still gets no dialogue. Looks up, smiles at him expectantly, and Obi-Wan says, hello there. Oh, aren't we clever? Now, in this moment, we've seen Star Wars music being linked to their appropriate character themes already in these final moments. Vader got to have the Imperial March finally. Leia got her theme from A New Hope. Does Luke get his theme, his hopeful theme, when he stares at the twin suns? Nope. They gave that to Leia one scene ago. That's right, guys. Remember when I said we're going to come back to that? As we were leaving, as Leia was continually getting affirmed, she got Luke's theme played for her. Luke gets nothing. Gets absolutely nothing but the pathetic score of Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's all he gets. And we're not done. The predictable final cameo is about to arrive. That's right, as Obi-Wan is marching off to the sunset. Oh, he sowed peace of the Force. Finally, he can see Qui-Gon.
Beginning to think you'd never come.
I was always here, Obi-Wan. You just were not ready to see.
Remember Qui-Gon Jinn? Remember Qui-Gon Jinn, who got stabbed exactly the same way Reva got stabbed twice, yet he died and she survived? Remember Qui-Gon? Hey, I love Liam Neeson, one of my favorite actors. And yeah, I felt the member berry twinge for just a half a second in seeing Qui-Gon Jinn, but ask me how long he was on screen there. I counted it. from a certain point, depending on where you start, less than 30 seconds of Qui-Gon Jinn, about 24 to 26 seconds. That's how long you get Qui-Gon. Just imagine what this show could have been. Bunch of episodes of Qui-Gon talking with Obi-Wan, having meaningful conversations, helping Obi-Wan overcome his grief of the loss of the Jedi, of the fall of Anakin into Darth Vader, of being in exile, of understanding the importance of his mission to watch over Luke. Imagine if we had seen Liam Neeson reprising Qui-Gon Jinn for a long time in this. That might have been interesting. Might have been fun. Nope, you get him for less than 30 seconds, guys. But the stands are still going to go, oh, look, it's Qui-Gon Jinn. See, you toxic fans, how can you hate seeing Qui-Gon Jinn? I can hate it because it's a misuse of the character. He should, if we were going to do this, he should have been there the whole time. Talking, communing, guiding Obi-Wan out of his grief. That's how we should have seen Qui-Gon Jinn in this series. Not for less than 30 seconds. Just so that he can say, come on, we've still got a long way to go. And then he and Obi-Wan, he disappears as he walks, and Obi-Wan gets to ride off into the sunset to go set up in his hut on the edge of the Judland Wastes. And that's the show, guys. Wasn't that fun? No, it wasn't.
Great shot, kid. That was 1 in a million.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.
I wanted to end with an actual Star Wars clip there because I think that both myself and any of you actual real Star Wars fans watching this, you needed that little taste of actual Star Wars at the end there to remind you that real Star Wars is still out there. Because what we just watched for the past 5 weeks was not real Star Wars. It wasn't. It was fan fiction. And it seems that maybe perhaps that rumor that I didn't make a direct video on, but I have referenced it in streams, that Reva may be getting her own show. Maybe that's going to be real because Reva survived. Remember how they started this whole series? They started it with saying, we are excited to show you Reva's story. And if you don't like it, you're a racist. Remember how they started the show? The show started centered on Reva. And the only reason the show didn't end on Reva is because they had to give you a Liam Neeson cameo as Qui-Gon Jinn. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a cut of an episode out there where it ends with Reva and not Obi-Wan walking into the distance. I wouldn't be surprised. Because this whole thing was about Reva and Leia taking over. Obi-Wan had many other characters do heroic things in his place throughout this series. They made sacrifices. He was made to look a fool. Leia acted like an adult while he acted like a bumbling fool. He had zero force ability until the exact right moment when the story needed him to have it, and then he had it all of a sudden. And he struggled, and he had no lightsaber skills again, and then suddenly he does, and he can overpower Darth Vader at the peak of his abilities. But Reva just kind of coasted through. She got to live out her revenge fantasy with no consequences because miraculously she survives being stabbed twice in the same area, whereas Qui-Gon Jinn was killed by the exact same kind of stab. She got to have a face turn without any real build-up. She did horrible things with no inkling of, I'm ready to be good. No showing that I have a bit of good in me. Just, I want my revenge. There's my face turn. I was doing this whole time so I could kill Darth Vader. I killed and maimed Jedi for a decade. All to get close to Darth Vader so I can kill him for stabbing me and killing other younglings around me. That's not a face turn. That's what a villain does. That's what a selfish narcissist does. And then she is cemented in Disney Star Wars canon as the reason Luke Skywalker gets to live. Because she had him dead to rights. That's what they want, to let you know, and I'm going to go there, that a woman of color let the little white boy live. And that he only goes on to have his great destiny until he turns into Jake Skywalker in Disney Star Wars. Because the women of color let him live. Don't think for a moment that that's not inside all of this. That narrative, that strain of narrative isn't there. If you're saying otherwise, you're fooling yourself. And you're pretending. Reva was inserted purely as agenda. And I would not be surprised if, one, we hear about a show from her. Oh, I cannot wait. I would watch that just to show how bad it is and just to report about how nobody is watching it. I would do that. I can't wait to see a comic. Can't wait to see a book. They're going to come. And then I wouldn't be surprised if in one of these pre-sequel, Disney sequel trilogy projects that are still coming down the line, that if Reva doesn't appear here and there, because we still need to see her story, because so far her story has been, I'm a torture people on my quest for vengeance, and then I get a little pat on the head and I'm told it's all okay because I didn't kill a child finally, and now I get to go be good. No build-up, no nothing. No understanding, no real background story of just, I was traumatized on the night of Order 66. That's all. And I know the standards say, Anakin got redeemed in one moment. Anakin was a journey. It was a journey that happens after all of this, not during this, because there is no conflict shown in this. The shills, as I said earlier, want to try and say, oh, this series paves the road for Anakin redemption. No, we saw nothing but Monster Vader in all of this. We didn't see an ounce of Anakin Skywalker. All we saw was a monstrous version of Darth Vader, not the menacing villain who's in control and in command and powerful. No, we saw a monster who kills recklessly, who allows shit to just happen, who allows time to be wasted, who wastes his own time, and who is then shown to be a broken, weak man behind a mask. That's the Vader we saw in this. Obi-Wan! For once and for all we ever wanted was real Star Wars, respected. 28 years worth of novels, comics, video games. A wealth of information, a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of stories, a wealth of characters that, if introduced properly, would have easily taken over for the original group. The Solo family, the Skywalker family, the side characters and their families that go, a new Jedi introduced from Masters to Knights to Padawans, a whole host of characters. There, when properly introduced as they were through all those stories that people would have loved and enjoyed. That's all you ever had to do, Disney. You didn't have to throw it out. You didn't have to trash original trilogy and prequel trilogy characters as you've done for the past 10 years in order to elevate your garbage tier characters who are, they're soulless, they're empty, they have no heart, they have nothing to them. Do you think anybody really cares about Reva? Do you think they care about crushed ice? No. Right now they got all these Reva toys going on sale. Oh. I can't wait to see people make videos of that stuff rotting on shelves, not selling, discounted. Show me somebody that wants a Reva lightsaber. Show me somebody that wants that Reva action figure. They don't. They still want Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, Darth Vader, and actual Obi-Wan. They don't want Disney trash, because that's what it is, trash. It will continue to be trash, and I will continue to report on it being trash. Now, I'm not going to watch Andor. I have no plans on it, the making of this review. I have no plans on watching any other Disney Star Wars shows. I'm done. I'm out. I'm sticking to the real deal. continuing with my book club, enjoying actual real Star Wars. I covered this to report on the atrocities that were being committed against the original trilogy, and I feel as though, as we reach the conclusion of this 6-part series, I made my case. I think I've made my case, the same case that many others have made. In the end, I hope you enjoyed this, if you are a real Star Wars fan, and if you're a stan, I hope I triggered you. I hope you're crying in a corner with 3 masks on, just railing against me, giving me comments, giving me more interaction. Thank you. I appreciate it. But just know that actual Star Wars fans have my back, and they're going to be there too to take you out of your comfort zone. I'm done. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, a like would be appreciated. If you're new here, I invite you to subscribe. And as I say, may the Force be with you. I'll see you next time. Take it easy. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you want to get in touch with me, you can reach out to me at therennerd@gmail.com. That email's for channel business only, so I check it on a daily basis. Also, you can find me at the Geeks and Gamers forums under @ROAS, and you can find me at Rumble and Odyssey, The Renaissance Nerd. Thank you again. See you next time.